Welcome back. So we're on your optional closure ideas for step 10. And you can decide if you want to go further or if you're going to call your fun pouch finished at this point because you got this far. And I realize I didn't make a big enough deal in the last video, but congratulations if you got this far, that you've stitched the front motifs and you've blanket stitched it and actually created a pouch. That is pretty darn awesome. I hope that we will get to meet you in the Zoom meetups, and at least at the end one you will show us at the end of the first 2 weeks that you have finished your fun pouch. I really hope you will. I've got a couple of ideas for closure, meaning how do we secure it or how do we carry it. You did get just kind of a fun little goodie pack, and they might have all been kind of different. It included 2 ribbons, 2 large buttons, 2 small or medium buttons, and then a hair elastic. We'll start with the ribbon, and then I'll show you in the second video about closure how to do a button closure. So hopefully that gives you an idea. So you got 2 lengths of ribbon. There was a pink one with flowers, and then there was kind of a yellow-green one with flowers. So what I've done, I'm going to choose the yellow-green one in this case. I've taken the ribbon, I've folded it in half, wrong sides together or solid sides together. Kind of match the ends up here. They don't have to be perfect. And then I've folded it back, both ends together against itself, about 1/2 inch. So now I've got 4 layers where I've got a loop right here. So this is what I'm going to set this one aside and move on with this one. I've gone ahead and pinned it, and then I'm going to open your finished fun pouch, have you open your finished fun pouch, and then identify a corner. I kind of mocked it up on my arm and decided I wanted it, when I'm facing it, I want it on the right side. And we're going to just kind of sneak it inside here where the pocket area meets the flap area. So I'm going to take this away just so you have an idea of what I'm looking at. I'm going to kind of stick it in there almost a little bit at an angle, kind of like that. Can you see that? Yep, you can. Okay. And then I'm going to just kind of pick it up, and I'm going to just remove my pin for a quick second and then put it back in. So this time when I bite it with the pin, I've gone through 4 layers of ribbon and I've caught my front blanket. And I'm just going to peel this stuff out of the way. I'm going to choose yellow-green thread. That was thread number 4069. We've used that. We use that as part of the flower here. So that's the thread I'm going to choose to stitch it down with. You could use this sand color. It's pretty much not going to show, or it shouldn't show, from the right side. So I'm going to pick it up and fold it open. So it kind of looks like that. Kind of looks like a folded fortune cookie for a minute there. And then you'll hear me say this similar terminology all the time. The first thing I want to do is bury my knot. So I'm just going to kind of go underneath the ribbon, and then I'm going to come back out next to the ribbon about 5/8, 3/4 of an inch away, at least 1/2 inch, but I think that's a little narrow. And I'm going to come up there. And then what you're going to do is a whip stitch, and it's very similar to couching, except for this time we're going to bite into the ribbon each time. So I'm going to bite into the blanket, I'm going to bite into the ribbon, I'm going to double check you can't see my stitches from this side, and then I'm going to pull. And then I'm going to go 1/16 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch away, take a bite of ribbon, a bite of blanket, a bite of your sand colored blanket, a bite of ribbon, and do that. And I'm just whipping over or couching over the edge, and I'm going to do 3 sides. I'm going to go down, I'm going to go stitch across the fold, and then back up. So let me get down there to the fold. So again, bite a blanket, bite a ribbon, pull, bite a blanket, bite a ribbon, pull, bite of a blanket, bite of a ribbon. If you ever have to hem pants, you're basically doing this so it doesn't show on the right side of your pants. Your stitches would just be a little farther apart. We're putting these close together because if you actually do use it as a wristlet or a wrist handle, you're going to put a lot of tension on this, so we don't want it to come undone. When I get to that corner, I'm probably going to take a second bite there because I can. And then as I draw my circle up a little bit, I'm going to keep the circle and put my needle back through, and that's a method for tying a knot. And then I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to take 2 or 3 stitches, cross the fold part, bite a blanket, bite a ribbon. And this is a screen printed ribbon. It's got paint and some sparkly stuff on it. When you stitch through the decorative part, it's going to feel a little thicker or tougher. Don't worry about it, the needle still should go through. So it was 3 or 4 stitches later, and I have stitched to the other corner. I'm going to take an additional bite there, draw that up. Before I lose my circle right here, I'm going to put my needle through and pull, and I've tied a knot there as well. Now I've got a little bit of the ribbon trying to tuck out and show itself, my raw edges. I'm just going to push that back in so I can't see it. And then I'm just going to put that on repeat. Take a bite of blanket, a bite of ribbon. Make sure that you're looking every now and again to make sure your stitches don't show on the right side. A bite of the sand blanket, a bite of ribbon. And so that's another 4, 5, 6 stitches. Again, I'm going up the side about 3/4 of an inch, about the width of your thumb. If you can stitch that much, that would be good. I'm at the end where I want to stop. I'm going to take an additional bite of blanket, bite of ribbon, drop that circle, put my needle through and pull. And I might do that twice. Again, because there's going to be a lot of tension if you use this way. There'll be a lot of tension on it. And then back to the same terminology, I'm going to ask you to bury your end. So I'm just going to, I tied 2 knots here. I'm just going to kind of wiggle through the blanket to the opposite side, somewhere near where I started. Be double sure I don't have any stitches showing on the right side. And then I'm just going to clip it close. Remember, you're clipping those 2 thread ends. This happens to be 2 strands. Don't clip your stitches. And that's it. That's how simple it was to put that wristlet on here. If you stitch it on and you decide you don't love it, no big deal. You're just going to tuck it inside your pouch, and you're going to be the only one that knows that it's there. How about that? So that's one way to finish this. Now, if you want to omit this one, that's fine. Omit means don't do that part. Not a problem. Save the ribbon for later. It's up to you. You paid for it. You can toss it. You can do whatever you want with it. But I'm going to move on, and I'm going to go ahead and do the button. So back to this thing, you have 4 buttons in here, and you have a piece of elastic, and that's what I'm going to go for. So I'll leave that there for just a sec. So you can see, and they were all different. The color of the hair elastic, the color of the buttons, they might have all been slightly different. The one I'm going to use for my finished pouch has kind of a golden yellow color elastic, some orangey brown buttons, and then some yellow buttons. And I'll meet you at the next video for creating a button closure.